Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys predicted to add an Aaron Rodgers favorite via trade amidst Ceedee Lamb contract extension. The Dallas Cowboys are the talk of the NFL today due to their announcement that they have agreed to a long-term contract extension with first-team All-Pro wide receiver Ceedee Lamb. After months of negotiating, Lamb and the Cowboys agreed to a 4-year $136 million contract extension with a $38 million signing bonus and $100 million guaranteed. The deal makes Lamb the second highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL after Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, who signed a 4-year $140 million deal earlier this year. It also ensures that Dallas will start the 2024 NFL season with their best offensive playmaker, something that they desperately needed. Jalen Tolbert, a former third-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, has not developed into the player Dallas hoped he would. Last season, he had just 22 receptions for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, there was a reason that Lamb got targeted so much last season and earned the contract that he received. But if the Cowboys are to be successful in 2024 and make the playoff run, Mike McCarthy needs to save his job. They may need more help. He is also one of McCarthy's former players from his days with the Green Bay Packers. Acknowledging that the Jets would again be eating a significant portion of the deal, a fresh start for Lazard would make sense for both sides. Obviously, the Lamb holdout is no longer an issue, but Cook's knee soreness is. As established above, Dallas really has no depth at wide receiver. Prior to 2023, though, his production had increased each year for 3 consecutive years. In 2022, his final year with the Packers, Lazard had 60 receptions for 788 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2021, while playing second fiddle to Davante Adams, he had 40 receptions for 513 yards and 8 touchdowns. Lazard's 2023 stats may turn some off to the idea of acquiring him, but it should be noted that he played with 3 quarterbacks that will either be backups elsewhere in the NFL this season or not on a roster at all. Additionally, he has no guaranteed money left on his contract after this year, so there would be no long-term financial consequence if it did not work out. Biggest winners of Ceedee Lamb's new deal with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys and Ceedee Lamb finally reached the conclusion of the star wide receiver's off-season-long standoff by agreeing to terms, as expected, on a colossal 4-year contract extension. Under Lamb's new deal, the 25-year-old will collect $136 million over the life of the contract, with $100 million guaranteed and a record-setting $38 million signing bonus. Lamb now becomes one of the highest-paid players at the position, and the Cowboys will have the team's most dynamic offensive weapon on the field, happy and motivated ahead of the upcoming regular season opener against the Cleveland Browns. Ayuk's name has been floated in trade speculation for weeks, amid an impasse in contract talks with the 49ers. The 26-year-old caught 75 passes for 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns last season, and, whether Ayuk re-ups with the Niners before the regular season opener and Week 1, there is now another receiver contract touching over $130 million as a potential benchmark for his next deal. Things seem to have turned a corner between Ja'Marr Chase and the Bengals just as quickly as they devolved in recent weeks. Chase was seen participating in drills over the weekend, after not taking the practice field at all during training camp or the preseason. While it remains to be seen whether contract talks actually intensify between Cincinnati and the franchise's game-altering wide receiver, the range of possibilities on the value of a new extension just got narrower. Jets playmaker Garrett Wilson is still at least 2 years away from being eligible for a new contract, but there might not be a bigger winner around the league. Mike McCarthy enters this season as a lame duck head coach, potentially needing a lengthy postseason run to preserve his future with the Cowboys. That becomes much easier with Lamb as the offense's headliner. Prescott having his full complement of playmakers and receivers not only opens up the playbook for McCarthy but gives the Cowboys a field-stretching weapon who can make a legitimate difference on the impact of games. Now, it may come down to Prescott rising to the occasion and McCarthy keeping the proverbial gas pedal in big moments in the postseason to keep owner Jerry Jones from moving on in 2025. Cowboys finally express concern over Ceedee Lamb holdout. Week 1 is quickly approaching and the Dallas Cowboys still don't have superstar wide receiver Ceedee Lamb in their building. Lamb missed all of the preseason, holding out for a new contract. The sides appear to be getting closer to an agreement, but the clock is ticking. I think there's urgency on both sides. Just once again, this is business, Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy said on Saturday, August 24. What goes on there is really between the individuals in the room. But yes, I think everybody involved wants to get it done. Lamb has been preparing on his own for the season. The team is confident that he'll be in shape when he returns, but plans need to be put in place to ensure Lamb is ready to roll for the opening kickoff, if a deal gets done. You got to have a healthy plan. Yeah, definitely, some concern, McCarthy said. We've got to be smart there and just use good judgment. And that'll be the case. But yeah, I think it's just the reality of where we are. So, we'll deal with it one day at a time. Lamb has been quiet during his holdout. However, the three-time Pro Bowler sent a message through a video he posted on social media. Still waiting on that phone call, but until then we grind, Lamb said in the video. Control what I can control, and that's to be the best version of me. Dallas' latest reported offer to Lamb is approaching $33 million per year, per Calvin Watkins of the Dallas Morning News. That would make him the second highest paid receiver, behind only Justin Jefferson, $35 million. The Cowboys have some work to do, and they're trying to find the sweet spot with Lamb. The stage is set for Dallas to place an urgency on Lamb, the wide receiver, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported on Sunday's SportsCenter. To get that deal done, it's going to cost them well above $30 million per year. Ceedee Lamb's trying to get as close as he can to that Justin Jefferson market of that $35 million a year. So, they're trying to find a sweet spot on all of those points. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has given sporadic updates on the contract talks with Lamb, often expressing optimism. However, his tone changed on Sunday when asked about his Lamb. I don't have any updates, but we are near the season starting, Jones said. Listen, we got a lot of things to talk about. I'm only talking about who's here. The Cowboys have called the negotiations with Lamb challenging, pointing out that they're also trying to get deals done with Dak Prescott and star linebacker Micah Parsons. All three will likely become the highest paid players at their positions on their new deals. We're trying to, a little bit, play Houdini in how to keep all these guys around Dak and keep these players we were fortunate enough to draft, Jones said on the Snoop City podcast in July. When you start stacking them up like that, it's a challenge. Not that it's not doable, but you certainly have to have some give and take if you want to do that. There's no excuses, but we think we can get this done. We know we can get it done. It just takes time. Lamb finished last season with a league-high 135 receptions for 1,749 yards and 12 touchdowns. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Ceedee Lamb? Leave your opinion in the comments.